Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Today I'll be talking about living in Ghana, some of the basic things that you need to know, especially living in Accra. So the first thing on my list is language, okay? So the official language in Ghana is English. Of course, there's a very popular language here, which I almost think is official as well. It's called Twi. Not everyone speaks it, but majority of the people here do speak Twi. So it's very important to learn some of the basics, like how are you, or welcome, or I'm going home. People just feel like you're trying to assimilate into the culture. I think that's very important. So I have learned some few things, and I use it sometimes when I go buy, fruits at the fruit stall. So it does help. People like that. Second one is mode of transportation. It is very important to have a private car, but you don't need to have a private car. What you can do here is you can use Uber, you can use trotros, and you can use the motorbikes. Okay, so let's talk about Uber. So the Ubers here are very reliable, very reliable, and most of the times most people do use Ubers. It can become expensive over time. Okay, but Ubers go everywhere. They'll come pick you anywhere and take you wherever you want to go. Very safe. I've not had any issues with Ubers. I haven't heard anything about Uber drivers here. So yeah, that's a very good means of transportation. Now the second one is trotros. Trotros are like small buses. They usually have regular bus stops where the drivers would pick passengers up and drop them off where they need to go. So a lot of people do use trotros because they're very affordable, and you can have about 10 passengers in a trotro, sometimes even more. You can use taxis, and then you can also use the motorbikes. You can use those as well. Those are dangerous because they get into accidents all the time. So I wouldn't advise anyone to use those. Currency in Ghana is the Ghana cedis. Okay, $1 is 5.2, about an average of 5.2 cedis, and I think for pounds it's even more, like 7 point something pounds. I cannot remember, but I know that a lot of people here love dollars, American dollars. So you can actually do well if you have that, if you have the American dollars. It's 1 to 5, $1 to 5, about average of 5.2 cedis. Okay. So for healthcare, before moving here, it's important to know, if you have, especially if you have a chronic disease that needs constant follow-up, it's very important to know what they have here. So the healthcare system in Ghana is such that there is a public system, a public healthcare system, and it is private. So the public healthcare system uses the national health insurance system. So a lot of people who go to the public system have the national health insurance. I think it's very affordable, and most people do that. The only drawback with the public health system, like everywhere else, is that it takes a while to get your treatment or to get seen by a specialist. So most people do go to the private system for primary care. People do use the public system for specialty. Most people use the private system. Now the private system is very interesting because you have from clinics to hospitals, and the hospitals are well equipped and they have good care. But if you're coming to live in Ghana and you have, let's say, a health problem, like let's say you have heart problems, you have to make sure that, just like everywhere else, you establish a relationship with someone who's here, as in a cardiologist. You have to find that person before you move here, because what you don't want to do is move here to Accra and then you can't find anyone. It's very important, very important. Most of the doctors here are pretty good. A lot of them, studied abroad. A lot of them studied here. So you have a combination of people who are experts in tropical medicine and also in, just general medicine. So the healthcare is good. Then the last one I want to talk about is shopping. All right, grocery shopping is very, very easy here. You can get anything that you want, anything, and there are three ways that you can get, buy things here. So you can either go to the local markets, which are my favorites actually. Local markets are where you meet the people here in Ghana. I mean, you really enjoy the experience. It can be a little bit overwhelming if you've never experienced that before. If you go to the Makula market, heaven. But it's not for the faint of heart. It gets really, really overwhelming for people who cannot deal with a lot of crowds. If you if you have a little phobia with crowds, then that's not the place for you. But it's a very rich experience because anything, you can find anything for a tenth of the price that you get at the local markets. So yes, they have local markets everywhere, open air, people bargaining for goods, and it's just amazing to see women who flourish in this. It's wonderful. I actually think that's one of the experiences that you need to have when you come to Ghana. Go to Makula market or any of the local markets. In the local markets though, you only can use cash or mobile money. You can use a credit card or debit card, so sorry. But you can also go to the supermarket. Everything is, the prices are marked up. There's no bargain in the supermarket, of course. It's just like a supermarket anywhere in the States or in England. The prices are on the product, so you just have to pay what the price says it is, and that's it's fine. People, they're still packed, but then you meet people from different backgrounds. That's where you meet a lot of different people. Ghanaians, expats, everyone is at the supermarket. So that's also a very rich experience to go to supermarkets as well. Supermarkets are usually located at malls. Okay, I noticed that most of the supermarkets are located at malls. You have ShopRite, you have Game, and then you also have Max Mart, you have Malcolm. Those are nice places to go. The food is great and fresh. If whatever you need, you get here. One of the things that I always say is that it looks like sometimes I feel like I have to go to different stores or different supermarkets to get exactly everything. You just can't find everything at one place, but typically you can get everything that you want here in Accra. There's everything here. And so yeah, that's a summary of some of the things that I think are worth knowing before moving to Ghana, especially Accra. Like I always say, I don't really know much outside of Accra, and once this coronavirus thing is controlled, I'm gonna try to make frequent trips out of outside Accra, because I feel like this is all I know. And I will definitely be taking some notes and sharing with you my experiences with the other towns and big cities here in Ghana. All right, so thank you so much for listening, watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.